Hi, I'm Jillian. Some people know me as Good Vibes Jill, and this is part 2 of the Moving from JA to USA series. Thank you for tuning in. And in part 1, we spoke a lot about the journey, the mindset, the curiosity around this change, what really sparked it, and then the actual process of applying for a master's program in the US, being in Jamaica. And you can check it out up here so you can get the full story. But if you've already watched that, let's dive into part 2. So part 2 is really more matter of fact. It's really about, okay, now that you've gotten into the school, that's great. I mentioned before that that's like the halfway mark, because really, that's one part of it. The heavyweight really is getting the visa to actually enter the country, and the other documents, which I'll talk about, that you need to ensure you have, because even the visa alone does not give you what you need to have, legal stay. I want to preface this by saying I know that a lot of the discussion around immigration issues in the US, it's a hot topic, and rightfully so. And I want to say that, anyone who has gotten a chance to go on this journey, it is such a privilege. We should not take it lightly. And I want you to understand also that once you start to go on this journey, you're going to get some roadblocks. You're going to get some red lights, maybe telling you, maybe an amber light, maybe a yellow light telling you to slow down. Think really long and hard about it. I'm not saying that this journey is for everybody. I think you should see if it matches your situation, if this is something that will be valuable for you, and you take it from there. But don't try to copy and paste, because your unique situation will tell where you should go. All right, so let's get into it. Definitely, even in terms of what is to come, I think I took a long time to record this one because I was just like, all right, I don't want to seem tone deaf. One, I don't want to give misinformation. I don't know what will change if there is some executive order. I don't know what will change if, I don't know, there is some new development in, global affairs, immigration, whichever. And I can't say what is going to happen between, for example, Jamaica and the US or any other surrounding countries. But the point of sharing this was just to give you some knowledge and some experience. It's not a be all end all. It's not mathematically accurate or anything. This is just my experience. And I think, that can be helpful. So with that being said, I will leave links to the main pages that I use to get information. Of course, pages like USCIS, the US Embassy in Jamaica, all of those resources that were factual and helpful for me, I'll definitely share them in the description so that you can stay up to date with what's happening. Follow me, we're going to dive in. So now we're talking about, like I said, the very matter-of-fact things. The visa application, the financials around it, the feelings around it. It's bare F. The F1 visa, the financials, the fees, the feelings, and this one is also F. It's just the visa interview prep. But it was, oh my gosh. Thinking back now, I'm like, yeah, man. I think that was the hardest part. Like, there was a lot of self-doubt in applying to the master's programs, But there was also a little bit of like, yeah, man, like, I go to school before. Yeah, I might not have the best grades, but I've tried to use the information to apply it to my career and how I do different things. So I think I have a good shot. But you see, the visa, as Jamaicans would know, the visa word just come with so much anxiety. And that's so understandable. Like, there have been so many horror stories around visas and traveling, and there have been great stories, sometimes sounding very unattainable, but somebody who get for go away and them do this and them do that and them help them family. And I think it's just a very loaded, emotionally loaded process for people. And for me, it was no different. For me, I would have gotten my visitor visa first, which I do think there is a benefit to that. And having that on record and showing that, yeah, man, you go, you visit and you come back, like, that is always helpful. But I wouldn't have gotten it long before. I didn't get it as a child. I applied as an adult, So I wouldn't say that I had the smoothest road with that either. And maybe I could make another video about that, because getting the visitor visa also took a certain strategy for me. Not saying it's going to be the same, but, just sharing the knowledge. So if you want that video, let me know in the chat. Yeah? All right, cool. So let's talk about the application for the F1 visa. All right, people. So let me explain. When you apply for the school, right? The school say boom, you get through. Everybody happy, hey, new life, oh, it's gonna be great, your dreams coming true. Drawbreaks. You need to show that you can afford to go. And this is where some people get stumped, because depending on the program you go for, you might not be able to show all that money. And to show that money, I mean, you need to show that you have the school fee and the living in a bank account. And if it's not in your name, it needs to be in maybe a parent or somebody's name. So with that being said, there are lots of people, a lot of Jamaicans who go to the US for school, and they do it at a community college. And they try to choose a program that is not readily offered in Jamaica, because as the interviewer, I'm not saying that this is 100% accurate, but from what I've heard, if they're looking at your application and they're like, she want to do, I don't know, business, she want to do marketing, those things are offered in Jamaica. Why do we want to do it at this community college around a woy in America? The case that you build around going on this journey is very crucial. But also, when choosing the school to apply for, you have to think long term, because not even too long after, you're going to have to show that, yes, you can actually do this. That's where the scholarships come in. And you see all these different companies in Jamaica who, them help students to get the scholarship, because when you get the scholarship now, it's a different story. The school don't say them cover 100% plus living and board. Or them come and say, all right, we're going to do a half scholarship. In my case, my scholarship was somewhat, I would say it was pretty much half, if you think about it, yeah. Because they covered a certain amount of the school fee. I would have gotten discounted housing through the university. So there was a lot that went into even just, okay, that midpoint between, okay, I get into school, and then, all right, then boom, I am actually going to apply for the visa. So I got the acceptance December 2022. Yeah, wow. My mind. So December 2022, I got the acceptance. And then January, I really started to say, all right, let me get my things together for the visa application, because at that point, you don't just go straight to the embassy. You don't just go straight to the embassy website and say, I got into a school, give me a visa. It's not like that. You do that, you get in, and then the school say, as I said before, can you pay for this? Can you afford it? And the school vets that. Now, if you get a scholarship, it's a different thing. All right, cool. You show that you can pay for it, not just the school fee, but your living expenses. All right, cool. The school gives you something called an I-20. That I-20 document is like, your bread and butter. That's the butter. Like, it's just gonna be so dry if you don't have the I-20. The I-20 is your visa's best friend. It's what you take to the visa interview. It's everything. And the I-20 stipulates, okay, this is a school. Yes, the school have vetted that this person can afford to be in the country as a student, and this is the amount that they have shown that they will be able to afford. And then it speaks to the time in which you'll be in the country, the program category, all the details, all of your life for the school period. It depends on the paper there. And then now you say, boom, I'm my I-20. Now you cannot apply for the US visa without the I-20. And that was what was slowing me down, because by January, February, I said, all right, I'm able to show everything that them asked for, considering the scholarship, but also the other things that I'll need. By that time, I was accepted into housing, so I could have the subsidized housing. I got the scholarship, like I said, and then I was able to show the other finances. I said, all right, cool. Mid-February, I also was trying to sell my car. That is for the next video. Let me talk about that. But all of those things were now getting into motion. And then I started to, any documents I had that I could show, hey, yeah, man, here are my ties to the country. Here are the assets I own. Here's whatever, all those things I could do, whatever I could do. I make sure I have all of that. I'm preparing. Other things you do, you take your passport picture. You're going to need that. I think is no more than 6 months old, but it might have changed, so double check. And you start to put the money together for the fees. The visa application fee, I'm just gonna give you a range, was roughly $500 to $600 for that. And then there was another fee for CVIS. CVIS is a body, if I remember correctly, that is speaking to the different agencies. It's like all of them connected, but they give you a CVIS number, and that is to verify. It's almost like a student number. Before you even get ID and stuff from your school, you get a CVIS number. So you have your CVIS number, you have your I-20, you have your acceptance letter, you have whichever things you can show, bank accounts, assets, whatever title, whatever, you have them something there, and you have your picture. What else did I have? I brought records from like my employment, because I thought that would have been important to show. Say, yeah, man, I have pay slip, I have my contracts, see where my work, see what I have done. I'm not just somebody who is aimlessly floating by and more come in your country. You get me? So I did all of that, and I can't even feel my heart racing a bit, because it was, you're trying your best to show that you're a good person, even though you are, And as I say, I understand the anxiety around Jano Star. I want to go to a place, I want to have this experience, and you need to know, go to this embassy in front of this person who you never seen in your life, who probably going to give you 5-10 seconds of your time to sum you up and make a decision. And, of course, we think things happen in the back end in terms of researching and reviewing who you are, background check, who knows. But it is still a very anxiety-inducing process, right? So anyway, I was like, all right, cool, get all of these things together, pay the fee, the fee is coming in steady. And, I would say between the visa application fee, the CVIS fee, let me look back at my notes here. Yeah, visa application fee, CVIS, proving the financials. I can't remember any other fees at this point. Like I said, it may have changed. But at that point, it was just like, yo, I reach here, so that money I have to go spend. And it's like, I keep saying, all right, I'm betting on myself. Even at times where I didn't feel like it was going to pan out, I was like, yo, God take me this far. He made me apply, me get in, me get scholarship. If him carry me this far, and me go say no, then I'm my fault. But maybe I should just do it. And if it don't work out, then, So anyway, I'm thinking back now, and I'm like, yeah, you take some risk, You take some risk, because at that point, I had like written a proposal to the job I was working at. I was there for like 4 years. So I was like, yo, I am open to continuing to do this work. I can work remotely. This will not breach my visa, blah, blah, blah. It's a Jamaican entity. They didn't accept the proposal, but it's okay. We'll move, because guess what? Me get the opportunity and me I go sit down? Never. If you see me just sit down, so it's not me. Somebody clone me. Somebody clone me. Because everybody knows, say, one thing I'm going to do is try. I'm going to try. Yeah. So that is what happened. And I remember I went to the interview. So make we go to the day of the interview. Whew. Calm down. You don't know. Embassy things, early morning. The sun don't even rise. Me rise before the sun. And my father and I went, and he was right by my side. I mean, just pausing for Ernie, because the greatest champion of my journey was my father. Through and through. Like, from I say, Daddy, say, I find a school in Texas, and I kind of tell him, like, Daddy, and he's just like, why not? So, and I'm sure I've said that before, but I always come back to that moment, because from I say it to him, and enough time my father don't agree, but this time around, he believed so much in the vision. He was just beside me through and through. So, embassy morning, when I finally get the appointment, which it never take too long to get an appointment, by the way, much to my surprise. I think I did apply the Tuesday, and I got the appointment for the Thursday. And I say, woo, all right, I'm not ready, we want to get the appointment, but we never really ready. But we say, well, there's no time like the present, we have to do the thing, right? So, anyway, me and Daddy go out there early morning. I remember we got juicy patties first, because we need a little something in my stomach. I don't know how long I'll be waiting at the embassy. And if you know that that line, because the line start from in the median in the road and the sun a come up and the sun a burn you and you're just dead there. And me and my father stand out there the whole time. I think it was like 2-3 hours before I actually could move up to the actual line to enter. And my father and him say, yeah man, him a go there, him a go there with me, and him stand up right beside me, like say him a come for visa too, And then the officer come and say, sir, are you applying? Because him don't have no paper or nothing in him hand. He's like, are you applying today? No, my daughter. And he's like, no, you can't be over here, only she can be over here. And obviously him respect the officer, but it was kind of like, show ya, I'm right here. I'm not too far. He was never too far. So anyway, I just said to myself, if God carried me this far, it can't be to leave me. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I am trusting, and I have, a mustard seed, small seed here, a small mustard seed. All right. But I have the mustard seed, I think God make it work out. Just make it work out. Do be a beg. We can't do all of this and it don't work out. Come make a shame. Shame gonna kill me. So I said, all right, cool, we'll go. The line of people. I think I did end up talking to a girl behind me. I always try make friends with people and, make the most of the time, even if it's standing in a long line. And we'll go in, so them take everything after search up and whatever, go through metal detector and whatever. And finally, we'll go around to where the actual line is to do whichever different visa. I start feel extra nervous, like, Jano, I know I have everything, but them could just tell me no. Oh God, all right, you know what? And you start go through your life journey in your head and you say, well, ever done anything that could have made them Jesus, all right, you know what? And it's like you go from, I don't know, if you've been here before, let me know in the chat, but in the comments, like, have you had those extremes back and forth in your mind, like, yeah man, it's a go work out, you're a good person, them not nothing for you, you have everything, and then over here you say, Jano star, but look how much people get turned on every day, who am I to? Once again, we'll push through it. Those are very real feelings, but we'll push through it. So I say, all right, cool. We're joining the line now, like teller line in the bank for go up. And one thing about the embassy, which we all know, everybody got area business. And like the thing that made me the most nervous, separate from my own internal dialogue, was when you hear somebody get denied. Because it's like, and it's not like I haven't done this before, I get the visitor visa, I know how it go, but Jano star, there is so much more riding on this one. Me I try to live over there and work over there and go school and whatever, like, this one, me I try to sell my car, like, I already put things in motion. This I forgot work out. So, I go up now, and I get a male immigration officer, and he was not the least bit pleasant. Like, he was just as straight face as it gets. And I was like, not trying to be like overly perky, because I find that if I'm overly perky to a super calm person, they're like, them not like that. So it's like me, I try to be like, just calm, but not somber, but not, it's just a weird mix. And I'm like, all right then, I'm being pleasant, only answering what is asked, not rambling on, because that's the mistake some people make. Being as confident as much as I was anxious, but just being as confident as I could. So him take my documents and him start look through, and I see him looking on the screen and him start wrinkle up him eyebrows, and me I say, Bomba, it's like, can I say that on YouTube? Anyway, he must say like something, and him I look and me I said, Jesus. I was like, I'm sure I did everything right. I'm sure I got, okay, just stay calm. Maybe him computer not work, just stay calm. Then him call over somebody. Then him call over somebody. Him call over a next man. Me I say, see it, God. I eat this. It not go work out. I eat this because why am I call him supervisor? I'm like, oh my God. I don't know what to go up next. Jesus. please, if you can't hear me. All of this is like in a matter of 2 minutes, okay? Them don't take long with you. And I said, Jesus, if you can't hear me, please just make everything work out because I don't know where I'm going to put the screen. So anyway, it turns out my CVS number, that student number I tell you about, I don't know why it wasn't pulling up my profile. So him trying to just check the documents, verify everything, but it's not showing that I did the CVS thing. But goody work with a receipt because you need to have every single thing. So I'm going to say, okay, no worries. Here's my receipt. You see it here? See the letter header. And him say, okay. And it's like the supervisor move. And I'm like, okay. And then him face, I know him face not change, him face not relieved one bit. Him just same. And then him say, and so you work in whatever field? And I say, yes, I work in this field. And what's the company that you worked with? And I tell him the company. And him say, okay. And what is your bachelor's degree in? And I said, this. And him say, what program are you going to study in at UT? I remember that was a trick question in the car. I say, like, don't panic why you ask, but answer quickly and accurately. I'm going to say I'm going to do a Master's of Science in Technology Commercialization at the University of Texas at Austin. And then him pause. And again, poker face. Him just go, so I will be recommending you for the visa. Slip the paper, the white paper, I think. And so I'm like, thank you so much. Have a great day. But I try, you try hold it because you don't want to seem too frightened. But the minute me walk outside of that embassy, oh my God, it was like, and let me tell you what I love about Jamaican people. When me come out of the embassy, people when me don't know, the Jamaicans are just one of a kind. As me I come out of the embassy, one woman and one man ask me, you get through? I say, yeah, that's never cheer for me. They don't know me. Them don't know me. But they support and the joy. By the time me see my father, I make for me reach across the road to him and me tell him, it was just amazing. It was just I know I made this video too for myself so that in the future, and it don't have to be the far future, in the near future when I feel down, or hopefully 50 years from now, if YouTube is still around and I still have my videos and I can say, you remember when? And I can show my grandchildren and say, see, I was talking about it here. Oh gosh. Trust me, speechless sometimes. Sometimes so speechless because, as I say, the mind and your heart too. It's not just your mind, it's your heart, because you can logically have it all together and say, yeah man, this makes sense. But the trust, the belief, the faith, the heart. I feel like every time I do them video, I want to cry, but I'm not going to cry because, I don't want to mess up my eyeliner. I joke. But yeah, it was just such a blessing to actually get through that point, because I'm telling you, the visa, as we know, it could have everything else. Some people have money and don't have no visa. Some people have everything but the access, and that's what the visa represents for me, access. And it's not a replacement for my home country, but it's a level of access. If you think of the US or any of these other places, it's even Jamaica, but if we're thinking outside of our Jamaican, borders, you want to use something as a launching point. And that was my idea, It was never just, come to the US. It was global. Me say I was Miss Global. I was Miss Jamaica Global 2015 for those who don't know. And then I did come second in Miss Global actually. So a global with there, and it's a launching pad, and we know how it go. The American media, the American, tech industries, whatever it is that you're going to venture off into, a lot of that, has a level of focus from the American market. So anyway, long story short, I think I was just floating that day. I think the only day that topped that day in terms of the whole visa process was when I actually pick up the passport from, I think it's DHL or whichever office them have. I think them have a separate office now. But yeah, that was the only other day when I actually pick up the passport. Once again, my father was there with me. I'm going to open out the passport and see it. And see it for real. It's not just an idea anymore. And I think I saw somebody, I'll see if I can find the quote and put it on the screen. But I saw somebody talk about people who are able to conceptualize something or think of not necessarily a concept or an idea, but a journey, whatever it is for you, right? And you take it out of thin air. It's spiritual. Like that's what the person was saying, and I feel that way. And it was a lot of labor, you know. Don't ever get me wrong. I always tell you it's not easy. It's not easy, but to have done that from the idea, you know, January 2022, to say, yo, I wonder, to be curious, I wonder. And then to go forward and to over the months, 1 year later, I get my visa. Couple months after that, I make the move. Man, I wish I could just, you know, find a way to keep doing that. And I think we can, you know, it's just not easy. And I also think that when you do something like that, it takes so much energy. It's like you have to give yourself some time to rest to do something like that again. But it is possible. And the idea that we've survived our worst days, or if you're watching this video, you've survived all your bad days. The days that felt like, I don't even know if I'm going to make it through this. But also, you have created amazing things. You have, you know, taken yourself out of such difficult situations and made it work for you. You have been in a job that you can't stand, but you find joy in it through maybe the people that you're there with, or, you know, the customers that you serve, whatever it is. And for me, like I said in the beginning, it was really because I say, yo, after that car accident, I can't just, I saw me just go through just not be the author of my own life. Like, God are the real author, you know, but me and him can write together, and I can action the things that he put me on this earth for. And I'm not the one who thinks that is based in material things, which I've said before, but I really believe that when you are able to come up with something, to decide, to do, you decide and you take action, it is a beautiful thing. And that quote that I'm going to find, it definitely sums it up well. So, you know, with all of that being said, we'll get to the feelings part of it, which I kind of went into already. You know, Mega get into the feelings, you know that. But it felt like a new beginning, in the best way I can put it. It felt like, you know, I gave myself a chance to start something new. And as much as I was curious, I was still kind of afraid, but I was doing it while I was afraid. I was doing it anyway. Every time I turn on this camera, I do it even though I'm anxious. So I'm wondering, oh, nobody not going to watch or whatever. But I still did it. And I will talk, you know, in other videos where, you know, I'll talk about the fact that even the masters, like, you do this thing, you build up, you get there, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so hard, or there are parts of this that I don't like. And, you know, even for the latter part where, you know, my dad passed away, and I just couldn't even see myself finishing, like, after everything I tell you, you know. But the actual feelings of determination, some days, and some days it's just like, all right, let me just try a thing. Some days it got me through that. But definitely in terms of the visa, I tell you, man, It was a roller coaster of emotions for sure. And I'm glad that I was able to reach out to different people. I am going to reach out. Like, my sister, you do this, I'm going to reach out. I have to shout out Samoya. Samoya, she's actually on YouTube as well. And Samoya had her visa interview, I think a few weeks before mine. And she made it known that she got into this school. Whatever, me just message Samoya on Instagram. Hey girl, I have my interview coming up. You have any tips? You have any suggestions? I had other friends who would have gone away to study, family members. So I could talk to them and hear their take. And I'll tell you one thing that worked and also caused anxiety. It was like a two-sided thing. I found a lot of comfort and support in YouTube in terms of people sharing their visa interview journey. People would have posted their take on what happened. Some people, if you search it now, you say F1 visa interview, you see people who said they were denied. You see people who said they were accepted. People from different countries. I didn't see much from Jamaica, maybe one person, but there were people sharing their stories. One thing I caution you against: time it when you decide to watch those and put a stop on it when you need to. I say that because when I was watching them, especially like 2 days before the interview, I started to, especially the ones where they said they got denied, I started to make up my own scenarios as to why they should deny me. The mind is powerful. So if you're feeding it, I got denied, then you will start worry. Now, yes, there are things you can learn and them say, well, I got denied, but here's what I did wrong. Fine. But put a limit on that. Put a limit on the negativity, because I can tell you honestly, I think it was the day before the interview, I lie down on a ball, on my face, in the bed, just crying. And I'm saying, if these people had everything that they should have had, and them never get through, why am I going to get through? How am I going to get through? But everybody's story different. And the fact that, as much as there were times when I felt like, yo, if this don't work out, this is going to be horrible, whatever, I still had to have a part of me that was saying, if this don't work out, it's okay. It's redirection. Terry Carell talk about redirection all the time. Things right now seem like this is the be and end all. And sometimes that's what it is for the moment. But there was a part of me that had to keep balancing the enthusiasm and the confidence with, okay, if this doesn't work out, it's redirection. If this doesn't work out, gotta move me somewhere else. If this doesn't work out, retete. You get me? So, overall, I would just encourage you to reach out to people, ask questions. If you see people who are doing it already, ask them. Especially if they're in your specific field, like the persons who have done business like myself, the persons who are in medicine, we always see them celebrating when them get, I think, matched. Yeah, matched is the term. So, people are sharing their journey. And if you want to know, ask. The right person will help you. The right person will share information with you. And what else? I know, like I said before, this is a loaded topic. And anything to do with visas, traveling, immigration, it's stressful right now. It is. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's still stressful for me, and those are things I will share later on. But the point is, if you don't take the step, if you don't knock on the door, if you don't say, hey, let me try, then you don't know the answer already. If you don't ask, you know the answer already. That nothing will come. There's no information. There's nothing to move forward with. But if you ask, if you knock on the door, if you say, you know what, maybe. Okay. And you can lay it all out and calculate the risk, and say, all right, well, see my spreadsheet here. If I do this and pay the application fee of $100 to the school, and I don't get through, I lose $100. All right, cool. If I do the visa application and I don't get through, I lose this. Or I can gain this. And what is the long-term projection of what you can gain, And also, separate from the material things, like, what kind of life do you want? I always have to end on them note here. I know you're annoyed. Don't be annoyed. But truly, what kind of life do you want to say you had lived? When that time come, when your friends and your family are ready to celebrate the life that you had here on earth, what type of life did you live? Did you stay curious? Did you give yourself a chance? Or did you just start to accept what people were giving you and accept the definitions and the way of life that somebody said, I saw it go, and all right, I saw it go, and it's just going to be like this, and accept those experiences? Is that what it's going to be? Because we see people doing different things online, and you know people in real life doing different things. It's not always going to be rosy, as we say, but I would much rather to try. And I hope that you try. And I'm always going to remind you to try. you know, that's the good vibes for me. That is how I bounce back every time I feel down, every time I can't see the way. I'm like, all right, good vibes. Good vibes? What does good vibes mean? Yeah, I'm going to choose it. I'm going to choose to stay curious, to enjoy my life, to do the things that I can do. All when other things not working out, I'm going to make the most of it, because guess what? We always say tomorrow not promised, right? So what kind of life do you want to live? What kind of experiences do you want to have? And one more thing I'm going to share with you, there's a podcast I'm going to drop in the description, podcast episode. I love this podcast a lot, and this week they spoke about living a fuller life, a richer life, and what that takes, and it's not always what you think. I thought it was going to be something else, but it was very aligned with staying curious and your experiences. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for watching part 2 of the series. I'm coming out with part 3 soon, and let me tell you, look back at my notes. Part 3, we're talking about the physical moves. So I keep talking about the car because selling the car was very stressful. But things like the actual transition in terms of packing my stuff, talking about who helped me move or pack things, and the flight to Austin and the journey of that. So stay tuned. I hope you are enjoying this series so far, and I look forward to sharing more info with you. I hope you have a good one, and of course, good vibes. Thank you.